Our podcast should be called "We Made It." To the trend.
Co-
Dot. 7 years later.
It was that 7 years ago, Tiny Hands?
I don't know.
It was a
Actually,
while ago.
to be fair though, I think that trend is almost timeless in a sense.
A timeless. I'll go with it. Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
do
it's
tiny
timeless.
hands really ever go out of style?
Never.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think there's never an opportunity for the humor of tiny hands.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. That's all I'm looking at right now is the tiny hands. Don't adjust the mic. This is too much. I can't handle this. Fuck. Okay, now I gotta buy some tiny hands. You take over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Hi.
go
So, welcome everyone. We're reporting from the
live from.
trenches of a winter ice storm in the, I don't know what you would call this. This isn't Southern Ontario and it's not Eastern Ontario.
The
So what are we even?
North Shore,
North
Ontario.
Shore. North Shore, Ontario. Yeah, there's been quite a development over the weekend. There are reports of 380,000 people still without power and potentially holding steady till Tuesday.
Are yours the stick hands or the finger hands?
Oh, they're stickies.
Okay, that's good. A little bit more
But they
dexterity.
look, they convert, guys. For those who've never seen the inside of
Oh shit!
so you
No,
can
okay, we're good. We're good.
you could do this. But
Yeah,
I find the mobility of the little baton
the little baton hands.
helpful. Yeah. While I'm handless, have some of my beveragino. So yeah.
Hey, real quick.
Hmm.
I feel like the last couple episodes
Yep.
we've had some opportunity to start new topics, but we keep postponing them. What have you written down that we've not discussed yet that we need to knock off the list?
You absolutely 100% just cut out at the most important part of what you were saying. The last
Oh,
couple episodes, and then I heard at the on the list. So what did I miss in between?
you've had items on your list that you wanted to keep discussing, but
Oh
for time
yes,
reasons,
yes. We keep talking about
yeah,
other
let's
stuff.
hit the list.
Okay, I do. This is gonna sidebar off to something else potentially, but Gabby Petito,
Oh
the
yes, still
Netflix
have
special.
not watched
You haven't
this.
watched. Okay, then we will not cover it because I think we both need to be on the same page, so to
Hmm.
speak, you know? Okay, there's a few things. There was this one website, and I want to pull this up because it was like about sleep, the importance of dopamine and what. Oh gosh, that's my Instapot soup recipe. No thanks. Watch, it'll be like the one thing that closed in all of my tabs. Haters gonna hate. And our group chat is blowing up, so you might hear ding ding dings in the background. Okay, so I'm
Well,
gonna have
that's
to go into
actually
my
while you're doing that, great conversation.
yes.
Canadians often don't even say anything to acknowledge the existence of another human being. We might just offer a simple head nod.
Okay.
Where do you stand on the head nod front? Is up.
Uh apparently the like up nod, the like hey, hey is rude.
So
But I grew up in a city, so maybe our ways were like really different. I feel like the down nod to me strikes me as a guy thing, and the up nod, not that it's not a guy thing, but I feel like I see more women
more
maybe
feminine.
be, and it's not
No,
even
not
more
feminine.
feminine as in like to like point your nose up at somebody is technically kind of rude, but
I just got to go watch this to make sure I'm on the same page here.
yeah. I think that's what they were saying. That was my impression. I could be wrong. It's been many,
I've
many times
I've
before.
always been a
So
fan of down is good, up is bad,
okay, okay, okay.
but maybe less so. Less to suggest that when you know when you see someone walking down the street and you give them a
Mm.
curt head nod down, you know the person, so it's a bit more
It
informal. It's a
seems
bit
more
more,
like respectful, like I bow my head
yeah.
to you. Yeah.
Whereas if I don't know someone and I feel like I need to offer up something so that the eye contact is not awkward,
Yes.
I'll just
Be
give them a
like,
quick up
hey,
nod.
hey. So just context. You're talking about how it's a difference of context
I think personally
determines what that
that's how
is.
I determine. If I know the person,
Okay.
it's down. If I don't know them, it's up.
Okay. 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 Oh, Atlanta. I really wish that I could find this because it was rather important. Going through all of my
Put it on the poll.
things. Not there. Not there. I was looking for light fixtures at some point.
So much stuff.
Man, they're.
The shit you try to keep
Oh,
track of. We
oh
found
yes.
it.
Okay.
We made it.
Okay, guys, this is from the website Medical Express, the letter express.com. So take what you want from that. Also, it says this is from 2008, so who knows? Uh, just one night. Sorry, the headline is One Sleepless Night Increases Dopamine in the Human Brain. Just one night without sleep can increase the amount of chemical dopamine in the human brain, according to the new imaging research in the Journal of Neuroscience. Because drugs that increase dopamine, like amphetamines, promote wakefulness, the findings offer a potential mechanism explaining how the brain helps people stay awake despite the urge to sleep. However, this study also shows that the increase in dopamine cannot compensate for the cognitive deficits caused by sleep deprivation. So, yeah, like they're like, "Oh, this could be really great because dopamine's fabulous." Except for you're sleep deprived, so it's real fucked up. They go on to, you know, research on 15 healthy participants. They had them test the same, who were either kept awake all night or allowed a good night's sleep. Researchers tested the same participants in both conditions. On the morning of the study, participants rated how tired they were and did cognitive tasks, testing visual attention and working memory. And then they did imaging techniques to like look at their brains more or less and all of the stuff. So anyway, they go into more detail about like the technical what's happening in the brain exactly, but more or less all this to say is that I don't want to say it explains a lot, but like we've kind of touched on this a little bit, like the dopamine, was it Dopamine Detox is a book you recommended?
Dopamine Nation.
Dopamine Nation, okay. And I'm sure that they discuss it in more detail, but you know, we have sources of dopamine everywhere, and I wondered if I don't know if this is possible, but like I wondered if the opposite was true, like if
The hands just came back into the frame.
hands.
Sorry.
I forget I lost what I was saying. Uh,
My
like
bad.
if you have too much dopamine, will it cause? Because it was saying high levels of dopamine cause sleeplessness. Yes, if I understood correctly.
That fuck.
Or sleeplessness is increasing our dopamine.
I
That's
read
for sure.
that.
Okay. Um
Sorry, I heard that. I didn't read anything.
yeah, it's so I feel like we're having we have too much dopamine going on. Our brains are overloaded. Anyways, yeah, I feel like it's a self-feeding loop possibly, because if your dopamine's high, then you don't want to sleep, and then you're tired, so your dopamine increases, and then it's like this vicious
Oh
cycle that
yeah,
just keeps
yeah. You
going.
get like
That's
manic
kind
and
of
overtired, and
I wondered if that's kind of part of it, and then also uh Jordan and I have noticed this. We'll like randomly wake up in the night and just like be awake, and part of me wondered if that's because we are exposed to sources of dopamine via our phones, especially all the time. And so our brains can't regulate, and they're I don't want to say malfunctioning. That sounds awful, but like, I think, what else do you call it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like a court like what you're suggesting. This is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing is that because our brains are so reliant on maybe say in your example devices
Mm-hmm.
for that dopamine that you're waking up in the middle of the night to get a fix.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
Like
you're
your
saying?
brain's like, oh, we're like, I don't know.
Can you
It's
read
just
the
unregulated.
can you read the like that last part again that talked about I just want to
Tip, 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 tip.
I guess the effects.
So
I
I
don't know.
feel like the main paragraph in this is one night without sleep can increase the amount of chemical dopamine in the human brain. Uh, because drugs that increase dopamine, like amphetamines, promote wakefulness, the findings offer a potential mechanism explaining how the brain helps people stay awake despite the urge to sleep. So if you're like,
Did it say the brain produces amphetamines?
the brain drugs that increase dopamine, like amphetamines, promote wakefulness. Yeah. Does the brain produce?
Am
Or
I
is that a
making that up, or did that
byproduct
what I
of
heard?
dopamine?
Because basically, what he said, the thing is saying is, if you take meth, you're gonna get a shot of dopamine. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with sleep.
Hmm.
But if there's if
Because
it
the
means that
study was showing people who stayed awake, their brain chemicals, like the dopamine in their brain chemicals increased.
yeah, I guess what I'm hearing then is if you're trying to force yourself to stay awake, your body's going to compensate by giving you chemicals to help you stay awake, and those chemicals also increase the level of dopamine.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be then why you get giggly when you're tired.
Yeah. A little bit manic. Uh, yeah.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
But so
Cannot
there's a trade-off. You're going to be
Yeah, so the
dumb.
dopamine cannot compensate for the cognitive deficits caused by sleep deprivation, as you mentioned, kind of like those um, other hormonal effects of being sleep deprived.
Yeah. That's interesting
Yeah.
because it makes it sound when you go into it almost clickbaity. Like if I stay awake
Mm-hmm.
for all night, then tomorrow I'm going to be chock full of dopamine and I'm going to be
Yeah.
fucking just tickety boo. But that's not the case at all because you're
Yeah.
going to crash hard
And the
after the
dopamine
dopamine
won't save
eventually
you.
wears off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to last all day. That's interesting.
Yeah. I feel like it was in link to maybe something else that I had read, and forgive me for not having that like ready to go, but
I'll
I
see
feel
what I
like
can do.
there's a lot of ties between sleeplessness and dopamine.
Right.
And you know, you were saying dopamine. I haven't read Dopamine Nation, but do they touch on this at all in the
Actually, let me check.
book?
There might be. I feel like it's one of those really interesting, non-nerdy books that comes with a glossary at the end.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Sleep.
They're like, this is for all you simple folk who don't understand.
Nothing about sleep. Nothing directly about sleep, anyway. What else can I look up here? Fatigue. Maybe fatigue. EF. No. They got female modesty, but they don't have fatigue.
Hmm.
What else? What else could it be?
Sleep?
I already.
Sleeplessness?
There's no sleep in here. I just.
No sleep? Oh,
I mean.
sorry.
Oh, I just saw methamphetamine.
It's connected.
So dopamine output affected by. Let's go to page 50. Do 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 do. Oh my god. I mean, this is drug amphetamine, so it's probably higher concentration. But
Okay.
so this is the basal output of dopamine in the brain.
Okay.
In rats, chocolate increased dopamine output in its brain by 55%. Sex was
Damn chocolate.
100%.
100%. Okay, checks
So
out.
doubling the amount of dopamine that you're outputting. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes. So,
Nicotine. Go ahead.
people who claim chocolate is better than sex.
Wrong.
Debunked.
Yeah, maybe find someone better at sex.
Facts.
Nicotine is 150%. Cocaine.
100.
This isn't even the crazy part.
It gets
Cocaine
better.
is 225%. And amphetamines is 1,000% increased output.
1,000%.
But there's more.
How does that not make your brain explode?
I'm sure that's why the high is so fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it was methamphetamine. I wonder if amphetamines is in here too. Amygdala, amphetamines, and delayed discounted dopamine output. 103. It was the same reference, just if anyone was
Okay.
following that mumbling. You know, I laughed so hard. Speaking of mumbling, William was playing with Olivia's like little baby doll stroller in the kitchen. He's just fucking around with it.
Mm-hmm.
And she came in and ripped it out of his hands. And she was bent over fucking with it while she was walking away. And she was, William! And she ripped it out of his hands and then nonstop mumbling to herself on the way out of the kitchen.
I'm sorry, all I could think of before you said Olivia took it away was like William's trying to like do stunts with it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like obviously not to the evil level that Sid is in Toy Story.
Yeah.
But like that, like I'm gonna use my sister's toys and use them out of off menu. Is that, I think you can say that. I'm gonna use these toys off menu, like not the way that they're intended to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Off menu. I've never heard of it used that way, but that makes sense.
People usually use it in reference to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny hands are hard, guys. You gotta like keep your sleeves up, but like also make sure the hand still shows. But like not my hand.
Yeah, this book is not providing any
Colin's doing research.
answers.
Colin's doing research on the podcast. While you're doing this, I'm going to say Anson had a stellar performance at his skating gala today.
Nice.
Holy moly. He was nervous as fuck. Like, not actually shit his pants nervous, but like, I would liken it to that level of fear. And yeah, he went out there and he skated. He was just scared of falling, which we watched the seniors fall a couple times. And I was like, it's fine. Like, this, you do it at the gala. You don't do it at like the competition. You know what I mean? Like, this is the place to do it. But then, so glad they put her at the end of the first half. This girl who's 17 comes out on the ice, and she might as well be fucking, is it Tessa Virtue?
Sure.
Like, famous skater. But she, anyways, I think Tessa was doubles with
Scott Moyer. I don't know. Who's keeping track?
Yeah. Scott and Tessa. Anyway, yeah, this girl was fucking phenomenal. I'm like blown away. And I think Isla froze watching it. She like holds my hand and she's like sitting on the edge of her seat, just like watching this girl skate along the ice. And then afterward, like she had already asked this week randomly out of nowhere, Mommy, I want to do skate dancing. So now figure skating is skate dancing. Um, and I was like, okay, sure. And I was like, we're going to see some people on Sunday. And then maybe you can make up your mind. But after that girl's performance, gosh, I lost Isla. She's in it.
She's done, eh? Hooked.
Well, she's just like, oh my God, you could do that on the ice. Like she's like twirling super fucking fast and she's got her leg up in the air. And then they do like where they crouch down and they have the one leg straight
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then they're
yeah.
spinning on the other foot. Like just, oh my gosh,
I can't do that
perfect
on
execution.
solid ground, you know? That's
Yeah,
a
I could, yeah,
that's a
yeah,
feat.
totally. Yeah.
Um
But yeah, Hanson was so cute. All the other kids did so good. Like you could tell they were just out there having fun and
mhm.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a skating gala before.
The figure skating club here, I guess, puts one on every year. We missed it last year. They might have had it just before March break, and we couldn't. I don't know. I don't even remember, but I remember we weren't physically in Port Hope,
I see.
um,
Yeah.
so we can go. But also, Jordan would have had to go out with him because he was in the pre-can. So you're like, it's a parented class,
Mhm.
and yeah, he was like, dodged that one. I'm like, yep, yep, for sure.
Speaking of
Anyways,
princesses,
yeah.
uh I guess the Snow White live action movie was not very well done or well
So
received.
I heard this too. Say more. What did you hear?
Uh, so a few things. It's got a collective, like an average rating of 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Oh man, and
I'm sorry, 1.6?
I feel like it was, and
That's low.
I've yet to verify this, but I was told the what's the word I'm looking for? Like lowest rated live action remake that they've done to date.
I'm
Worse than
shocked.
Dumbo.
I'm shocked. I didn't think Dumbo was the worst one. I liked Dumbo. I thought it was not bad. I did not like Pinocchio. Could have done without seeing that. Don't ever
I
want to see it again,
I'm
though.
not gonna watch many of them. I don't think. I don't
Okay.
care.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Facts.
I'm not interested in seeing the same movie in real life. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm just. But I guess
The
she.
princess ones are curious because the princess movies are such a franchise, kind of like, I don't want
Well,
to
that's
say
it.
standalone, but kind of. And so this obviously is one of the fairy tales, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
Dumbo
it's
and
interesting.
Pinocchio are different. But she, I guess the biggest problem was her press tour and her behavior with the media. The
I did
actress
not.
playing Snow White.
Okay, she's a new actress too.
Yeah, and she's done. They've you know, like the old timey fucking hook on the stage. They've yanked her. She
So do you think that this is her, like, so some people do this because they're like, if I can't be famous, I'll be at least be infamous. And I don't know if infamous is even the right word, but in this case, like she's just stirring up like any press is good press sometimes,
she
right?
is
So
giving me
but is this
AOC
next
vibes.
what's AOC?
Like in this fuck. The US Congresswoman or
AOC.
whatever, Anna Ocasio Cortez or something.
Oh, is she the one who's been like, there have been, oh fuck, I watched a video this week and it was like, what two videos give off the same energy? And one of them was like,
Alexandria, that's it.
okay, AOC. That's her initials, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So she
Okay.
like the internet is just everyone calls her AOC because it's shorter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It felt very genuine. Like this is who this person is. This is how they talk. This is how
Okay.
they behave and answer themselves and handle
She's
questions.
just a cold, hard bitch.
And it honestly, it sounded like she was just being 100% her true self,
Okay.
which is a self-involved self.
Oh,
She,
okay,
you
okay.
know what I mean? And they apparently there was just so many departures from the source content that it made the movie something that people going to see Snow White
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to see.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of her media comments were just difficult to, I guess, support or outside of her lane. Really, maybe I'm not sure.
Okay. The one clip that I saw was from, I want to say, a year ago. Like, they've been working on this movie a while. And I mean, that's probably how long it takes to fucking produce a movie. It takes a long ass fucking time. So who am I to say? Um, but in that time, she or a long time ago, she said this movie is not going to be the traditional story of Snow White. It's going to be the story of the dwarves are still integral part of the story, but it's not, this helpless princess. It's going to be like a much stronger figure standing up for herself. And I'm assuming that it would have been written at that time and they were maybe in the beginning stages of filming it, because she didn't speak much to like her experience as the character. It was just sort of like the idea of what this was going
Commentary
to
on the
be.
arc kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't like, I didn't feel either way about it. I was just like, oh, okay, like they're doing their own version of this and that's fine. Um but maybe it's because I heard this so long ago that I like wasn't surprised by the fact that this is the movie. But I think a lot of people, like you said, were going in to see Snow White, a Disney classic tale, a Grimm's Brothers
The
tale, I'm
original
fairly certain.
Disney princess,
Yeah,
apparently.
and because it was Jordan knows that the date actually,
Ni-
53,
37.
37.
Apparently 1937. I'm going to double check.
Holy shit, that's old as fuck. That's like nearly 100 years ago. So I feel like um
Yeah, 1937.
to adapt it to a modern audience is getting more and more challenging. Like, I don't know how people would go about producing, not people, like producers, filmmakers, things like this. Like, how do you even go about doing that? You're not doing it to please people. Like, you can't, obviously, and
Hmm.
hopefully they never have been doing that, but in some ways I guess they have to. But with these sort of like classic stories, like they've done Cinderella the first one,
I don't know. Oh, that's a good question.
because there's word on the streets that there's going to be a Rapunzel, which would be cool. They've done Little Mermaid. They've done um oh, Beauty and the Beast. Who else is there? There's
Well, I got a list of 25.
The Princess and the Frog. 25. Print like
Well, this one only has 23, but in order from worst to best:
okay.
Pinocchio.
Worst. Are they saying it's the worst?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
Because you said worst to best. Yes, I was right.
Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Okay.
102 Dalmatians. Wasn't tracking that one.
Dude, that was from the
101
90s.
Dalmatians. Yeah, I was tracking
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Okay.
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Oh, interesting.
Disney Snow White is number 18. Interesting. This is
Mm,
this is Rotten Tomatoes, so this is not based off of box office numbers.
okay. Okay. It's just like votes or something. Is that
Yeah,
how that works?
scores and stuff like that, I
Okay,
guess.
okay.
Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, The Lion King, Maleficent, Mufasa,
The
The Lion King, Aladdin, Peter Pan and Wendy. Number 10, Lady and the Tramp. Did not know about that one.
Oh, it's good.
The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Christopher Robin, Mulan, Cruella is number 5.
Okay.
The Jungle Book is number 4.
Yeah.
Cinderella is number 3.
Yeah.
And that was done in 2015.
Okay.
It was, a lot of these remakes were like, this remake was 1994. Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. So Cinderella's not the original. Pete's Dragon number 2, and
Oh, because there was a Lion King that was done recently.
yeah, that was the Mufasa one. Lion King Mufasa. I don't know. Maybe it's a prequel. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. Sorry.
Simba. The Jungle Book number 1, 2016.
Jungle Book #1. Wow. Good year for Disney. I didn't know there were 2 Maleficents. I feel like that's
One I think was
interesting.
a sequel to the other.
And I know that's not Disney franchise, but the movie about Wizard of Oz that came out this summer, Wicked,
Yes.
that one like is fucking hot as hell. That movie's amazing apparently. Um so sorry Disney. They're being trampled by another franchise. Those are all very interesting. So yeah, Cinderella obviously up there. Sorry, what number was Beauty and the Beast? Can you remind me?
Yeah, I can. Give me one hot second. I think it was like 13. No.
I was like low.
No, sorry. Number 8. It was number 8.
8. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Okay.
top
Phew. Phew. Um,
10. Peter Pan and Wendy. I skipped that one maybe? Maybe I said it too fast.
no, you said that one.
Yeah, it's called Mufasa, semicolon, The Lion King.
So that
Released
came out,
last year.
I was gonna say, was it last summer or something? Irregardless, um,
Irregardless.
this coming in so low is yikes, because they've probably spent quite a bit of money on this whole thing. Um, I don't know if people are tired of. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, I think it's because
Was it too woke?
I think it was too woke, to be honest.
Okay,
I think this was the
not
straw
a
that
place
broke
to
the.
be woke.
So Disney canceled their contract with her. They canceled like
Canceled.
they I don't sorry I don't know if they canceled the contract with her, but they pulled her off the press tour for the movie, which is a huge thing
Whoa.
because that's a contractual thing. When they sign on to do the movie, they also have to agree to go travel and
Yeah.
do all this bullshit promotion.
And then,
Uh,
but maybe that was her way of getting out of it.
well, maybe
She was
who
like, if
knows?
I'm a stone cold bitch,
But she's suing.
she's suing. Oh, okay.
So obviously she didn't plan this.
She's like, I couldn't fulfill my contract. You wouldn't let me. Is that the argument?
Well, I'm sure she's saying you're robbing me of potential income,
And exposure.
and that's
As
it.
an
Like
actress, she
on
has to
social
be able to,
media,
yeah.
yeah. But I think she really just shot herself in the foot. She ran her mouth a lot,
Yeah.
provided a lot of personal opinions instead of just talking about the movie and the characters.
Okay.
Um, Talking about what she thinks about the characters out, outside of she's like, it's not 1937. There's not going to be a prince. There's not going to be, she's not waiting for some man. And I'm like, that it's not 1937. You're right. But you
Yes.
can't, if you remake the movie,
Like just
just
make a
make
new
a new
movie if
movie.
you yeah, if you don't want it to be that story, just make a different story.
100%. Yeah.
But they're like stealing
Otherwise, it's just
clout from Snow White
exactly. They're just
to
riding the
get the
coattails.
yeah, to get the message. I shouldn't say clout of Snow White, but like people all of these Disney princesses are beloved by some group.
Well, and I think
And
too, we
so
overlook how
mhm,
often, uh, you know, she's trying to make the female lead be this strong, brave, courageous lead of the movie kind of thing. And
mhm,
I'm like, that's great, but strength looks like a lot of different things. Courage looks like a
mhm,
lot of different things.
mhm.
I remember being like fucking honestly terrified about the forest scenes when I was a fucking little kid
They're meant to be scary,
watching
yeah.
Snow White. And I'm like, you know what? If I was this fucking young, beautiful princess, that's weird. Uh, I'd
I'm
be
gonna have to
fucking.
clip that and use it later as a soundbite.
I'm a 36-year-old grown ass man, and I would be fucking terrified if I just found myself in the pitch dark forest one day. no
Yeah.
idea where I am, no idea who's looking at me.
Yeah.
I'd be just yelling at the top of my lungs, just making a fuck ton of noise, trying so hard to start a fire.
Yeah.
But she's just chill as fuck. She's just she starts singing and dancing with all the animals. I'd
Mm-hmm.
be trying to kill them.
You're like, who do I eat
I
first?
have to wear
You know,
you.
she's
I
like,
don't
will you
know.
help me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I
I
mean,
felt like uh so the character originally to me struck me as somebody who was just like so genuinely kind.
he's just a nice person.
She's just a nice person, and someone else who's more important is jealous of her and has the power to send her for an attempted
Mm-hmm.
assassination.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Ripe for the picking.
because she's such a nice person, the
She's also an easy target.
yes, but the henchman who gets sent out to murder Snow White um is like can't follow through and is just like, go, be free, don't ever come back. um and I just like sh- as a core character, she's a good person. And I feel like that was the whole point of the story, was just like she happens upon this house. She's like, "Oh, it's dirty. I'll clean it." And then
Yeah, it's like the first episode of Hoarders.
yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'll clean it up," and like has her forest friends come I don't know, it's just it's a fantastical story. Like it's fantasy, it's not real. And injecting like woke beliefs is unnecessary for so many reasons. Like it's also a kids movie. We don't need to be like subjecting them to the wild ways of the world
Yeah, like
and the
political.
wild
Hmm.
political discussions that are happening in the world um via a movie like Snow White. Like that, I don't know. I don't want to say that's what school's for, but kind of like it's where they're supposed to learn that shit, not at the movie theater.
No, and
Does that
it
make any
being
sense?
it being primarily a children's movie,
Yeah.
the message should be something that the kid can ingest, which
Yeah.
isn't fucking this woke nonsense. What it
So I'm
shows is
curious to
someone
see the
who's in
movie.
trouble
Yeah.
and who solves their problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
That
Snow
too.
White does. Never mind the seven weird fucking guys living in the woods. But
Seven bros
yeah,
living in the woods.
it's got frat house written all over it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
1000%. She
Yeah.
literally walks in. She's like, "Who lives here?
It's like
It's so
she
dirty."
what was that movie? Was it House Bunny? House
No, I don't know. What
it
is
was
that?
like the fuck, I don't know, some broad has to go in and be like the adult supervisor at a sorority house.
Oh my god, that sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard of.
The House Bunny. It was with Anna Faris.
The house bunny.
The
Oh,
house
Anna
mother,
Faris.
she
Holy shit.
becomes the house mother for a sorority full of girls. So so she became the frat mother of these degenerates.
Nice.
But it's also hard to, I think most people enjoy watching movies or TV shows or reading books because they can find a way to relate to a lot of aspects of many different characters.
Okay.
And if the person who's playing the main character is always in the news just running
Mm-hmm.
wild with their thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
opinions, and I mean a lot of it is like, like when you hear like someone from Boston talk,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Yep.
immediately like, you got to work a lot harder for me to find you attractive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to relate to a Disney princess when that Disney princess in real life is just fucking spitting venom all the time.
Yes. Okay. So I agree because you're right. Like if kids come across a snippet of the interview and she's saying something that is like a really opinionated, left, right, or indifferent, like it's whatever, right? But kids will tend to absorb those ideas, thoughts, or opinions if it's somebody like you said, that's on a big screen portraying this character that, you know, maybe they read their bedtime story about every night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um yeah, then we're kind of like forcing actors' opinions onto people in a way.
Well, and
Um
it's, I mean, it's also just
so yes, I can see why they took her off the press tour because they were probably like, "Oh my god, all these kids are going to see her saying this shit." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Like
We got to clean up this mess
at
quick.
least if they're just saying stuff that they've been told to say,
Sure.
someone watching could be like, oh,
Yeah.
like still a line or like adjacent to that's the real fucking deal. That's
Yeah.
the princess.
Yeah.
Whereas you hear this other one, like, you sound nothing like Snow White.
Mhm.
There's no way I
Mhm.
can imagine you as Snow White now.
Right. And
Even,
again, if she is that opinionated and she really wanted to say all of these things, like maybe that's the hill she's willing to die on as well, I'm thinking. And like her friends who are all in her same age group are probably like, "Oh my god, you like really spoke your mind. That's so amazing. Good for
mhm.
you." Without kind of putting that background of your audience is mostly kids. Like you're trying to talk about adult subjects to adults, but this is really just being absorbed by children and like not
Well,
this
and
isn't the right
things that might not get absorbed by
venue.
children.
Right.
Um, and this is kind of separate. Like I find it difficult to talk about someone professionally and then criticize them personally.
Okay,
But
sure. And
in
like we don't know her.
showbiz, I
Yeah.
feel like it's hard not to because they for some reason feel like it's important to be commentators on everything.
And there's a expectation, like there's a change of expectation from people. Like silence is no longer
Yeah, like
permitted.
don't be offended or tell me where you. And so to that, like I mean, it's like you're reading my mind. She
Oh,
wrote a tweet supporting Palestine. It was just a short one, like whatever, free Palestine. I don't know what it was,
okay.
and everyone obviously knows that that is a hugely charged, controversial topic.
Okay.
Um, and
Yeah.
it's like,
A massive.
are you trying to like slingshot? I don't know actually if she was famous before or not.
I
I don't
don't know either.
I don't
To
think
me,
she
she's a
was.
new actress. Yeah.
And so maybe she's like, oh, great. Now I've got a platform. I can start to use that
Yeah.
voice I've been cultivating for so long.
And there's a big push to do that. If you have a platform, use your voice. If you're not using your voice, then you're just a sheep amongst everybody else and you're like wasting our time, blah, blah, blah. Like
Well,
it's
she
almost part of the
cannonballed
job.
into the
Yeah.
PR pool.
Yeah. She was like, woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just like, let the movie finish, let it do the media and then,
Yeah.
be successful
And then
and
bombard them.
then be you.
Yeah.
But maybe let the success come. It's like, yeah, counting your chickens before they hatch kind of thing. She was just
Yeah.
fucking cracking all them eggs
Yeah.
and nothing came out. Poor
There-
girl.
Oh, no.
Poor girl.
Yeah. Sorry. But I mean, she'll probably be fine.
Oh, I'm sure she's still getting
This will
paid.
all blow over in a few years. Like she'll pick up a role in a few years, and they'll be like, "Oh, she seems familiar," and they'll say, "Oh yeah, she was the one who played Snow White." And they're like, "Oh, oh wow, she's
Bitch.
really matured. She's changed. She's playing this character differently." Like I think also with being a new or younger actress, you maybe aren't gonna get necessarily 100% the roles that you align with politically or whatever your values are. That'll come with time, won't it? That's
I mean,
yeah.
and even then,
You
like,
got to work your way up a little bit.
I don't think anyone who's going to be waiting for their platform to be the appropriate size and time for them to start
Mhm.
getting
Mhm.
involved like that.
Mhm.
Um, you maybe should just like learn when to get involved and when not to. Like
Yeah,
timing matters, and just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you should share it. And
that too.
people
Yeah.
forget like you're always working for someone.
Mhm.
You're Someone's always going to be upset with what you have to say, and if that person can also fire you,
Mhm. Trouble. Yeah.
maybe don't cause like Gal Gadot. And I'm not sure that this is relevant at all, but
Mhm.
as an interesting fact at the same time, she's Israeli.
Ooh.
So for her co-star, and the movie's lead to it's the hands
Oh,
uh
that
to
they're just
be
chilling.
taking such a profound stance, not a profound, but
What was that like working together if she's
yeah,
so
like, oh, you
politically
support the people that are
supporting of
killing my
something?
people. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
like
I don't know. Maybe
she,
it's
but Gal Gadot did not choose her nationality. You know what I mean?
yeah, but Palestinians didn't either, and they're still charged.
Exactly, but I feel like
I guess what I was
hopefully
saying,
people aren't getting mad at each other for those things. I don't know. You can't
yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's hard to know. You assume someone's from a place, and you're like, oh,
be
I'm
like,
so
well, I
sorry.
hate you because you're Israeli and I'm pro Palestine. Uh,
And I bet you it's more often too. Like
I don't
Gal
know.
Gadot was like, yeah, I really wish this wasn't happening. I really wish everyone could just.
I'm sure. I'm sure any reasonable person feels that way. I'm sure any reasonable person's like, yeah, I don't think there should be this massive war happening and that people dying and
I wonder if
like,
Gal Gadot was pulled aside by like the studio execs and be like, hey, is this going to be a problem? You know,
oh, because she
I don't
probably
know.
went into her interview. The girl who played Snow White, she probably went into her interview. She's like, I'm pro Palestine, by the way. She's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so. She's like so
I'm here to
opinionated.
audition for Snow White. Go Palestine. Uh,
Pro Palestine. It's like in your resume next to your pronouns, like who you support.
fuck. No,
That's
that
terrible.
we got off topic there.
Yeah.
So yeah, long story short, Snow
Snow White
White's
sucks.
not doing a great movie.
Hmm.
Not enjoying its day in the sun. I don't understand.
Not bringing in the big bucks like they thought it would.
No, it's they were
Mm.
riding high in April, coming down in May.
Hmm. I feel not is vindicated the right word about fucking
Vindictive.
Pinocchio
Yeah,
because
vindicated. I think vindicated.
I I think I hated that movie. Like I was just so mad. I was like, I wasted my life watching this. It's terrible, and it's Tom Hanks.
I was gonna say something too. I forgot. You just
I
reminded
believe
me.
he plays. Is it Giuseppe, the dad?
Giuseppe Geppetto.
Geppetto. So he plays Geppetto, and I was like, they could have cast 1,000 people for this. Why'd you pick Tom Hanks? Like, what the
They
fuck?
chose poorly.
He's a, I think, an Academy award-winning actor. If that holds any credence or value anymore, I don't know. But
Man, you want to test your fucking spelling abilities? Fucking Pinocchio. That and
uh,
the word rhythm.
Pino.
See, I thought it was two N's.
Is it CCH?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I oh, two C's and H. Yeah, it's fucking weird though. It's like
Pinocchio.
Wednesday.
What was its rating? Pinocchio got 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
How much money did that movie make? I'm curious.
Oh, hang on, let me go back.
I want to see some real numericals.
So according to IMDb, its budget was 150 million.
150 million. What the fuck?
This says 33,000, but it's got to be 33 million. This is
So it
from
made
IMDb.
33 million. Wow. They fucked up. And that movie, I feel like it was pretty much like
I haven't seen it yet.
a, I don't want to say original to the or accurate to the original, but
I see what you're saying.
it
Yeah.
was pretty close. So maybe they were like, that was our problem. We stuck too close to a dated time, like outline of a movie. And so they decided, not this time. We're gonna refresh, change the story.
It is saying $33,000.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
I
an
wonder if
absolutely.
it was released like straight onto Netflix or something.
It was released straight onto Netflix.
So
Yeah.
that'll impact the box office. So
Right, because
that's a tricky one.
it wouldn't have had a box office
Like all the ticket sales, people would have just
ticket sales.
waited for it to drop.
Yeah, it would have just shown up on Disney.
Dumbo was
Stream.
rated 6.3 and
Yeah,
it
you had said
grossed
Dumbo was
353 million on a 114 million dollar budget.
okay. So like it did
Okay,
well.
okay.
I've seen that one a couple times. I like Dumbo. I don't know. I wonder what people
Dumbo. Oh
don't
man,
like about it.
IMDb rating for Snow White is 1.6.
That's brutal.
It is so low.
That's very bad. And
It's
you know who it sucks for? A lot of people, but I'm thinking of Gal Gadot because she's an excellent actress. She's done great movies. Um,
I feel like that's the risks though, right? Because you
yeah,
see the great name, it's a known property,
yeah,
and then you're like, all these other remakes have done pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
I should be okay with this. I should be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, man. So it was its budget was 66 million and it pulled in 144 million in box office. So
Which
it
one?
wasn't
Sorry.
Snow White.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it wasn't they didn't lose money on it,
No, they've made some cash.
but it's not going to make any more, I don't think.
Well, the way, especially if the feedback from opening weekend is that, that it's not worth seeing.
Is this when it came out? When did it come out?
I haven't heard. Yeah, I think it was
March 23rd, 2025.
okay.
Opening weekend.
I feel like
Oh,
that's never
beg
what
your
you want to
pardon.
hear.
It had a budget of $250 million.
250 million. Oh, that
It
changes things a lot.
it made 42 million on opening weekend, 68 million gross US and Canada, 66 million, sorry, and gross worldwide 143 million. So it like
It's only made half of its budget so far.
it may have broken clear. I got to crunch the numbers here.
Because you said 255 and its global gross is 140. Is that including the numbers you already said in Canada?
So I'm going to include all of those numbers.
All okay.
42206 415 plus.
You're saying numbers and I just blank. Brown out.
Plus. Yeah, so they made a profit of like $2 million.
Oh,
$250 million estimated budget, $252 million box office so far. Thumbs down. Oh, sorry. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know why they keep putting fucking songs in these remakes. Like the
like
original,
turning them into musicals.
because the originals, did they all have songs in them?
A couple of them. Yeah, they have some songs.
But they weren't musicals, were they?
They weren't considered musicals, no.
Okay, so then I get confused.
No, but they did have musical elements to them. Like, there's a scene where they're cleaning and there's music playing, she's singing. I feel like Cinderella has a scene. It's like maybe one scene in the whole movie. Gave it a little musical element. I feel like when all these movies were originally being done, the previous form of entertainment was theater. So you would go and you wanted to hear people singing.
Yeah.
Or you would go and expect it as part of the story. And so when they started doing film, that rolled right into it. You had to be able to do all the things you could in theater on screen,
Mm-hmm.
including sing, dance, all of that. I don't know much about the history of filmmaking and whatnot, but I can only assume that that's sort of what happened.
Sorry, I got distracted. I'm back.
I.e., I was just talking out of my ass just now.
I think,
But I
I
hope it's
mean,
accurate.
that's mostly what I do. I just I have
Say
thoughts,
shit.
and
Yeah.
sometimes they feel like super legit, and then I got to share them. But who knows? Who knows?
So what you're saying is what you're sharing with us is the filtered content,
Yeah, this usually on the podcast it's highly filtered.
highly filtered.
If it
Sweet.
was, if I was in a different environment, it might be less filtered. My big concern,
Uh, yeah.
I don't
I was
want to.
gonna try and say it in Spanish, but I don't even know how now. Anyways, it's past.
I just don't think I'm ready to be in a situation where people just soundbite me and then I get dragged all over the internet. I got a good name.
Dragged over
I've worked
hot
hard for
coals.
this, and I don't want. I'm just kidding. I don't have a good name. I just have. I'm just assuming one day we're gonna get to be at a spot where
People will be
people are gonna take
soundbiting
her.
us.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, and I just got to be careful because I don't think I can handle it yet.
I can't handle it. Yeah, but we'll build up to it. It's fine.
Yeah, baby
Yeah.
steps. We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
Just like when we were watching the gala today, we watched the junior skaters, and there's one girl, and she's like, she got so much fucking pep. This girl's like in it emotionally.
Yeah,
She's
yeah, yeah.
invested. They said she's been skating for 3 years, and like I would say she's like really good for a 3 year person. Like they showed a few of the different levels, so like can skate, can skate twos, can skate three.
Right.
It's like the progressions, and she's like a stronger skater, I'd say. But I don't know. You could just like see it in what she was doing. Anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, the joy, the
Mm-hmm.
excitement. And
Mm-hmm.
now you do something and you're like, this is what bare minimum looks like. I've been asked to perform this task and this is how it will look.
Did you Amy Poehler? Am I saying her name correctly?
Yeah.
She has a podcast with,
Tina
and
Fey.
no, well,
Oh.
maybe, but this particular episode was with the girl who plays Karen in The Office.
Oh, Rashida Jones.
Yes, thank you. So maybe she was the guest that week, but she was like, Amy Poehler was saying, I started this podcast specifically to show people like stop doing it all. She's like, there's this big push to like give 100%. She's like, no, give 65. It made me laugh because I'm sure she's not giving 65%. You know what I mean? But
I think
she
that's a
was
really
trying to
great
like
point.
she's like, I'm trying to normalize this, you guys. It's too much.
Yeah, you can't
It's
give
a lot.
100% everywhere.
Yeah.
I give
All the time,
100%
every day. Like
total in a day.
100%
I
in a
give
day.
100% total in a day.
So break that down for me.
My existence for the day is that 100%.
Oh, yes, I see.
All of everything I do
I
will
woke
add
up,
to
I
100.
lived, I
Yeah.
went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to brush my teeth? That's 1% I can't put somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
See.
Yeah. Coffee, 2%. But
It's like a scale of like
yeah. Like 20%. It's a budget. You're right. It's
yes.
certain of I divide myself into horcruxes of fucks to give,
Nice.
and I give those out
That's
to
the name of the episode.
hor- horcruxes.
Horcruxes of fucks to give. How would you even say that? I feel like you asked me ages ago about my checklist items, and I've covered a total of one. But I also feel like I don't want to bring another one up at this time.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. This is
But I do want to ask this question because it is a question. I think it is also a commentary about uh, the value and changes in science and whatnot. But boomerisms we
mm,
haven't done in a while.
right.
And I don't know if this counts as a boomerism, but I don't know what else to call it. So bear with me for a moment. The commonplace use of the amniocentesis
Yes, commonplace use.
is a boomer thing. Let me explain. So, amniocentesis, for those who don't know,
Thank
it's
God
when
we're there.
it's it's a procedure a woman has done when she's pregnant if she wants to rule out birth defects or
Oh
get more,
yes.
because they go in, they poke a little hole in the amniotic sac. Very risque to me. I'm like, are you trying to pop this balloon, bro? Like, don't do that. Anyway, and then they um extract
Mm,
amniotic fluid,
right. For a
and then that's,
centesis.
yes, for a centesis. So they test it and they do all this information gathering. So my mom has talked about having this
I
done
just had this dumb thought. Keep going.
when when she was pregnant with my brother, because you know they would have I mean, they would have called her terminal pregnancy because they were so fucking cruel back then, but like they call it geriatric pregnancy now, over 35. And so sorry, mom, I've divulged some information about your age. But this being said, she was like worried about my brother. I think there just wasn't as much scientific research and knowledge, and like you can very much safely be pregnant at 38 and like nothing go wrong. That being said, there's also new, more accurate testing that they do through a blood sample now at an
Interesting.
earlier date, and like earlier on in the pregnancy. Like my mom had to be, it was like in the 20s weeks pregnant when she could have the amnio done. 24 maybe. Maybe this is a fact check thing that I should be double checking. But anyways,
Sure, I
point
can be
is,
on. My God.
no, point is, they do these blood tests now that are super easy. Like anybody's had a blood test, they send it off to the lab. You get way more info than you did before. And I think you can have it done as early as like 8 or 10 weeks. Like it's like very it's revolutionary,
Right.
so like they still offer obviously the amniocentesis. You can still have it done. They still consider it like a very safe procedure, and it's something that you can do if you're suspecting something in the pregnancy, couldn't maybe detect it before. This is still a thing, but by and large I think people aren't doing them in the same way boomers were. It was like
I didn't realize boomers
part of
had
your
that kind of
pregnancy.
access to it.
Oh, to me, it was like a pregnancy. I don't know, rite of passage. Did you get your amniocentesis? And like, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I've just heard of a few people our parents' age saying that they had it done.
I'm
And
trying
I was
to
like,
yeah.
I'm thinking like as a procedure that might have been kind of new then.
Damn.
Was it new? What's damn? We got some facts up in here.
I was looking up the history of this thing.
Okay. I'm gonna say, speaking of spelling, this would be a tricky one to spell.
No, I don't want to brag, but when I put it into Google, I guessed it spelling correctly on the first try.
So not that difficult.
They've used this process of inserting a needle to extract amniotic fluid,
Amniotic fluid.
amnions, for the management of hydroaminos or excessive amniotic fluid as early as the late 1800s. So they've been doing stuff like this for
The late
130 years.
1800s, why were they extracting amniotic fluid? Were
Uh,
women getting too. You look too pregnant,
well,
Betty.
for the management of hydroaminos or excess amniotic fluid. So
What do you mean excess amniotic fluid?
maybe there's too much water in
Maybe it
the
used to be a
Ziploc
thing.
bag.
Maybe we're discovering that there was a thing that used to be a thing that's not a thing anymore.
In the 1950s, amniocentesis was used to diagnose and determine the severity of rhesus disease,
Okay.
which is the when you say like I'm O positive, the positive or the negative is your rhesus
Oh,
factor.
the R factor.
Yeah,
Okay.
and because you've had uh, Actually, I don't know why. I know because you've had a surrogacy, you've also been given medicine to prevent any issues resulting from rhesus factors.
Yeah. It can happen. It's a totally random thing, but it's just like your blood type not agreeing with the blood type of the baby. Is that the one?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so your antibodies start
Yeah. It's like to prevent a
attacking.
rejection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Uh,
didn't. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't. They had that soon. I feel like I heard of it would have been boomer age parents being like, "Oh yeah, no, they were very worried about this and they couldn't manage it and blah blah blah."
in the 60s, a technique was developed in the 50s, and this was used in the 60s
Okay.
to conditions such as Duchenne muscular dystrophy and hemophilia. So
Ooh.
I'd say the 60s is when they would start using it to,
In a commonplace kind of way.
yeah,
Okay.
and uh, yeah, in 66 they were able to culture amniocytes that could undergo karyotyping, which is,
Oh wow.
we don't need to go any further. We all understand what that means.
I believe karyotyping is just identifying blood, no?
Well, in 1972, I'm going to skip past that because I don't know.
Okay.
These two
Pass.
these two doctors found that higher amniotic alpha fetoprotein levels were associated with neural tube defects. So maybe that's right around two when it really started to gain some, because that's how I
So you're
understood
saying
it.
if these babies were too alpha, is that what you're telling me?
Uh, so alpha that they had neural tube defects, Jenna. So insensitive. So you guys, I was like, that's such a bad fucking joke. Uh, but yeah, so I also grew up in a different community too. Like my family is super Catholic, so finding this stuff out about your baby before the baby was born,
It was like
uh,
a dishonor to God.
I don't know about. I don't know. I didn't fully understand the why behind it, but
Okay. Okay.
my 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 takeaway from the conversations I've had is that like you're gonna, it might want you to not have the baby.
Oh, like it's a sign from God?
No, like if you do the test and you find out
Oh,
that your
oh.
baby has got
Disease A,
some
B, C,
you know
something.
what I mean, like,
Yeah.
and you don't want that child to be, maybe it's for the, like, I won't question the reasons of the parents,
Okay,
but
okay.
the ultimate point would be that maybe they don't want to have the child. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe that's why I was not as aware of these things happening, because maybe it wasn't happening as much in
In
the
the
Catholic
circles that you
world.
were frequenting
Yeah, that I
at
was,
that time. When you were a child
when
talking
I
to
was being
boomers about
brought
having
to
babies.
frequent to, yes. So
um yeah, it's just like it's a reach, I guess. But I just felt like I heard people who are now grandparents talking about pregnancy experiences and blah
right.
blah blah. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that amniocentesis. Oh my god, when I got that done." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I know. Do I know anybody who's had this done? Like
I want to say I know like two, I don't even know if we did it. I can't tell you. I f- I feel like I know, I want to say two people. The worst part is I could only tell you one that I think might be one of these two people. I
mm,
can't tell you who the second one might be, but I'm pretty sure that there's been more than one person in my life tell me that this is something they've done. But yeah, it's that's a tricky one.
can you tell me off mic?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay, that's gonna
I'll drop
bother
that
me
to you.
way too much. I'll
Yeah,
be
for
like,
sure.
what?
Yeah, and for
Too
anyone else, if
too
you really
much
want to know
mystery.
that this kind of stuff will be part of our Patreon
Oh shit.
subscription process. You just got to pay for all the dirty deeds.
Yeah, you gotta pay for the tea, homie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's all I got
All right.
for this week.
On that note, thank you all so much. Good luck with your future amniocenteses. If
Hopefully, you don't have to do those.
For anyone who can't see, Jenna's waving her incredibly small hands, saying goodbye. Thank you all for
See you
joining
next
us.
time.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, download, make us successful
Thumbs
in the
up.
podcast. All right. Hit it.
Toodles.
So I want to say for sure, Caitlin